We back, News and Talk 1380 WAOK. You made a comment before we went to break about, you know what I'm saying, just the current state of like kids and especially kids that are aspiring rappers, right? They all seem to be willing to do so much and go so far, you know what I'm saying, at such a young age, right? Yeah. So me and my dog, we done had these conversations and like, because I was growing up around that time, like the time where like you were popping off, everybody, this whole new style of music was coming out, and it was just like, the adults would try to beat it into your head. Rappers are liars. Rappers don't live this lifestyle. It's all fabricated. It's all lies, right? Sometimes I think that next generation of kids that turned out to be rappers took that, and they remembered that, like, these dudes is liars. What I got to do to be serious is to really be about this, to really live like this, to really be reckless, and as early as possible. Do you think, like, you think that sometimes plays a part in it instead of, because I don't think like
art imitating life kind of thing?
I think like if you tell a bunch of kids, if you tell a bunch of 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds that everything they're hearing is lies and they still want to do it and they think the best way to do it is to seem the hardest, then they're going to go out and do crazy stuff. Like,
right. Let me tell you, when I was younger, I had some friends that was in high school. They watched Belly. And you know the scene on Belly when he make them stand up and they count the money and he like make them strip and he shoot the gun and all that.
Oh, they might be
they saw that movie and they pretty much replayed that out like like they got into an argument. It played out like that, and a friend shot a friend because they had watched the movie.
That's why you can't just blame hip hop.
Yeah, you can't.
That's exactly.
It can't just be hip hop. It's what you take
really
in.
like, because like I've been watching gangster movies since I was 3. You know what I'm saying? Like they sell these movies in the movie theater. And, you know, when you sit down, it's a experience.
And they don't get no flack.
You know what I'm saying? They don't get no flack. So for you to point it at hip hop and say hip hop's the reason, I think that's like the easy way out.
I think that because when I say all the time, when I came up, we had a lot of programs. We had after school programs and the Boys and Girls Club, and there was so much we were just really busy as kids. We had so much to do, and now I just feel like these kids are bored. They're not busy enough. They're not at school long. They're not in programs long enough. There's nothing for them to do after school. There's nothing more and more. They're taking away music programs. They're taking away science and technology. That's what I do love about our mayor, Andre Dickens. Like he put the center over there on the west side. You know, they play basketball over there, but these kids, I feel like they don't have nothing to do.
But what you said was right too, because long time ago they used to go by this thing like, he ain't living what he's saying. But but guess what? We did not do that to get on. You feel me? It's just so happened we went through it.
And you got to talk about it.
It was just so happened that we went through it. So I guess the younger generation sponged that and be like, so when I come up, I got to be done did this. I gotta have some stripes.
And you're missing the most important part. Like you know what I'm saying? I just turned 27, but like the OG thing really gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your OG might be, I mean, like my OG is really like how much older than me? Like 8 years?
I'm 35,
you know what I'm saying? This is somebody I look up to, like OG, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about when I was like 12, 13, everything I heard was basically either from adults or my homies and stuff like that, kicking it, trying to figure out what we was gonna do, trying to see how we was gonna get at girls, how we was gonna be able to scrape up money to do stuff. Yeah. That was just what it was. So I don't think it's hip hop fault. Sometimes I just think like things aren't great all the time. Like, and like you said, maybe it is like people having.
Let me just be clear. There are OGs. The status of being an OG is being someone that's wise and that's giving back to community and teaching.
I don't mean it.
Like, only half of that, because the culture changed. The OG is a gang member now.
That's what I'm saying. I don't mean OGs don't exist.
That's how I look at an OG.
I mean, like the dude that's gonna be like, yo, you really hard. Like you hard enough that you might not have to keep selling crack. Like you might have to chill, bro. That dude might not really exist like he used to.
No, he don't.
Yeah.
That dude might tell you where to get perks from now for real. Like, go up there for real. Oh, no, I'll go.
So you think the lack of guidance is a part of it?
I feel like it's a lack of guidance.
So what do you see? So what do you see, Dro? And what are you trying to do about it?
I mean, like I think the older cat is into it with the younger cat. The younger cat, you know, is getting money now, and he looking at the older cat like, you know, you ain't no big dog no more. I don't have the paper. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that the older cat allowed him to do that, because what older cat allows you to handle them like that and you're successful at it if they're about their business?
Exactly.
So I feel like the mentorship, like something that I'm into right now, is very much so needed, because I feel like, you know, when I got shot at the age of 15, I didn't have no mentorship, and it was back in the days when, you know, old school people used to be like, nah, don't let the little brother do that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like older people got scared and was like, I'm gonna just stay out the way.
Yeah.
I ain't messing with them young
They got
boys.
tired. Like, man, look, I'm tired. I'm trying to stay alive myself.
What was that like for you? Like 15? Like I got friends and stuff like that. I got a homie that shot himself in the foot when we was like 14, playing around with a gun. But what's that like to know somebody actually tried to like get you up out of here? You 15, you got to walk around like that. I listened to, you know what I'm saying, First Thing Smoking. I remember the song where you talked about having to get that bag and having to work through that and having to work through those days in the hospital by yourself. Like, but did you, like after that, did you say, you know what, I'm straight on the street? So did you say, I got to get back to it and figure it out?
No, I was confused. I really had a problem with God. I didn't know why that had happened to me. I thought I could get up and you know that I thought I could just walk out the hospital. A lot of things was messed up in my head. Right. So I was really mean after that. I cursed out people. I was very dangerous at that point.
You feel like you was quicker to fight after that?
Yeah, I mean, well, my attitude was more damaging than a physical person. Like, I was actually a real bad person. Like mentally, you know. So at that age, it almost drove me crazy. You know what I mean? Because I kind of liked the dude who shot me. I didn't know why. You know.
Yeah, like why would he do that?
Yeah, I looked up to him.
He
was just jealous. I don't know. You know.
On the note of emotions and just ego and stuff, I noticed that like a lot of kids don't have a typical scuffle. Nobody just fights and you know, see another day. Like now, it's a very fragile type of person we're dealing with. That not only are they not emotionally intelligent, they're also carrying a gun and they're young and immature. And it's like you can't say anything to anybody without them pulling their gun out on you. Now, so
the time changed. It's a camera now. It's the embarrassment. You know, I'd rather pull out a gun and shoot.
It's the camera, right?
You embarrass me on the camera.
I told y'all that, bro.
It's the camera.
I'm not going out.
I'm telling you,
for real. Like I know I cannot be viral. I can't go viral with somebody beating me up like in the parking lot.
Yeah,
they can't
you'd
be
rather
the end.
you'd rather die.
Yeah.
They'll rather die or
that's
kill
terrible.
It's
that
terrible,
is horrible.
Like, you gotta. It's terrible because you know what it's like to live outside of social media. If you like 15 years old.
I done been in plenty of fights. Won some, lost some.
You haven't been 15 years old where another 14, 15-year-old can record it.
Yeah.
Something that would have been just in the bathroom. You getting beat 5, 6 people know. Now 20,000 people know. The people at the school down the street know. The girls you DMing know.
I have a question, Dro. So, I mean, I can tell the difference from obviously when you were 15 until now. You sound very much so healed in a sense. What was the steps that you had to take in that? At what point in your age or, you know, your lifetime did you actually take those steps to become a healed man?
The first thing I did was what my grandmama taught me, and I had to forgive the dude that did it.
That's hard.
Yeah, my family asked, you know, everybody was at the hospital. They were like, hey, you want us to go ahead and go ride? Go shoot up by the house. And I was like, well, my mama stay up the sidewalk. His mama stay down there. If y'all go down there and shoot up his spot, he most likely going to come back and shoot up.
Y'all tearing up the neighborhood.
I got 5 brothers. My mama's in here. My mama had just got shot. So I was like, I don't want to put them through that because of what I'm going through. So I'm going to just forgive him. You know what I mean? And I moved on. It was tough. You know, but I believe that what my grandmama told me was the right thing.
So is that what you're telling as you're speaking to all these kids? Are you making sure that's something that you let them know?
Yes, forgiveness is powerful. It releases you from holding it in and stuffing it down. Forgive.
What was it like getting to that moment? Not what was it like getting to that moment, but what was it like having that moment of realization where it was like, I can't do it by myself? Because I got homies, you know what I'm saying, that's like heavy on lean, maybe heavy on pills. And they might tell you they can start when they want to, but you know it ain't true. And then you try to talk to them, and it's just like...
You got to get sick of yourself. You got to get sick of yourself.
You don't want to feel like you're attacking somebody. So, like, what was it like for you? Like, did somebody come and basically save you? Did they tell you have to go? How did you make that the choice?
Well, my management team her name is Sierra, and I'm real heavy on God. So I've always got those butt-ins, and you know what I'm saying, for me to change. And you know, it used to come to me in my dream, and you know, people would walk up on me and just tell me stuff out the blue. You know what I mean? And I found myself at places that sold these drugs and was just sitting in them. You know what I mean? I'll be the only celebrity or a superstar that's at a drug dealer's house, sitting there. You know, we having fun. Everybody having money. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the only one in here buying lean and getting perks and stuff like that. So I felt like, sometimes I felt like, what am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of times I was just out out of place, and I felt like my body was out of place, and I just see myself going nowhere really fast. You know what I'm saying? Though some of the times when you didn't hear from me, I was spending the money that I worked hard for. You know,
were you sad doing that?
I just probably was just running from myself. You know what I mean? Because it was like a mental thing. You know what I mean? Like growing up black, you know, in these streets.
The trauma.
Yeah, the trauma from being shot, you know, the trauma from my mama being shot, the trauma from my daddy doing drugs, and everything that I would hear and know.
You just start kind of numbing it at some point.
Out, you know what I mean? And,
is that the kind of stuff that leads itself to songs like Running Out of Time?
Yeah,
like that song.
Great.
I heard that song.
That's great.
Like, how do you, like, you know what I'm saying? Where were you at, like, mentally when you made that song? Because I know it's new, but it's like, you could have wrote that 2 years ago for all I know.
Yeah, so I have a 20-year-old that is on drugs, and I felt like I should do this for myself before I run out of time. At the time, me and my brother was going through a little rough patch in the music industry too, and I felt like we should mend this relationship before we run out of time, like a takeoff and You know what I'm saying? So it was alarming to see Takeoff die. That was a straw breaker for me. Like I felt like it was alarming to see Bankroll die, Doe B, Marlo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All these people,
city
P&B Rock. You know what I'm saying? It just kept hitting my step. And I was like, I'm a rapper too. Before I run out of time, let me use my voice to speak out on this. You feel me? Because I can be standing somewhere, somebody can hurt me. You feel me? So let me pick up my daughter. Let me tell my mom I love her. Let me mend my relationship with my partner. Let me go to the rehab and get myself clean. You know what I mean?
You want to hang around one more break?
Yeah.
Love
All
it.
right, cool. I promise we're going to get into the fun stuff.